No, it's not. Stab the bitch. I'm saying stab the bitch.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to Anime Club After Dark, the podcast that delves into all things anime, manga, and otaku culture related. I'm your host, Sho, and joining me tonight, we have Alex Senpai.
Call me Sasha, because I wish I were dead.
I hate it here. And we also have the poser extraordinaire, Nisai.
So ready for another fun episode where I'm not gonna get too energetic about defending a show that I like. I'm so happy to be here.
Yeah, you will.
Nisai's gonna get so triggered.
This is gonna be such a good time. I'm so happy I can provide such entertainment for all of you. Hooray.
So if you haven't already realized, we'll be talking about Attack on Titan, the final season, part 1. Not the last season, but the final season.
The final, not final season.
Finally.
Yes. And let me just say, I called out that this would not be the last season.
Oh, yeah.
And I was right. Okay. I was right. So yeah, the interesting thing about this season is that Studio Wit finally gave up on this IP, and now we have Mappa, who is doing the production. Which honestly, they did an overall pretty good job, I will say. I think they did the character designs really well, especially with the time skip, and we have older versions of the characters. Although I'm sure some people will disagree because there are some like memes about how Mikasa looks like absolute crap.
She looked good before?
Honestly, but like see. Okay, shut up, Alex. Like Mikasa's kind of a tomboy, so like I don't.
Yeah, it kind of makes sense.
I wasn't expecting like a prettied up version of her, so I'm fine with her.
Can we talk about that though? Because like when this first aired, right, there were people supposedly Attack on Titan fans who were losing their absolute shit because they thought Mappa ruined the anime. Like
because there's just a bunch of man children whining about their Japanese cartoons not being exactly the way they want to be. Shut the fuck up.
Okay, maybe, but from what I understand, especially from someone like Sho who's read the manga, like the character designs in Mappa's in this season, which granted there's a time skip, but are more faithful to the character designs in the manga than Wit's designs were.
Oh, really?
Wits were definitely more stylistic, and Mappa was a bit more realistic. I mean, but most people were complaining about the heavy use of CG. I mean, they used it on the machinery and the people, but I mean, the biggest complaint was that they used CG
on
for a lot, if not, no, just a lot of the Titan fights. Which kind of
I don't understand that either, because like I watched this season and I have to say Mappa did a better job with the CG than Wit ever did.
Agreed. I agree.
I mean,
this is the best looking season of Attack on Titan so far, in my opinion. At least from an animation and character design perspective, this is the best looking season of Attack on Titan so far. Like in terms of the technical aspects of the production, I think Mappa killed it. Like they literally hit it out of the park.
I think we're watching two different shows, girl.
I'll tell you what, I don't think it's like such a black and white thing of better or not. Like if we're talking about the Titans and the CG, I think it's way better. I mean, let's talk about the fucking Colossal Titan. Yeah, the Colossal Titan in season 3. That was not good at all. It was not great.
I completely agree.
Don't,
it looked like
don't get me wrong.
Shit.
Don't get me wrong. And that's coming from someone who loves the third season, but the Colossal Titan did not look good in that CG. But then the way they sort of made almost all the Titan CG in this season, the CG looks way better. The action of the CG looks really fucking great. And I love that.
I think the fact that they made all the Titan CG,
aside from the Colossal Titan.
Well, yes, yeah. I think the fact that they did that to all of them made it much less jarring.
Yeah, I agree. But the thing is, what we did lose is, like, we did lose some absolutely incredible animation that we did put out for the 3D maneuver gear. I mean, let's not forget the Kenny Chase scene in season 3. Again, that animation of the 3D maneuver gear is amazing. And as much as I really enjoyed the production and how they handled the transition from Wit to Mappa in this season, we didn't get anything close to what Wit put out in that department of animation. So, it's like I'm actually really okay, and like I'm happy with the adaptation, how we transition between the studios. But yeah, we did lose some things, and that's just the nature. Like they work differently, the
Oh
studios. So
yeah,
it
for
makes
sure.
sense.
But I think in terms of like a studio switch between seasons, I've certainly seen it done far worse than this in the past
Oh yeah,
with other
for sure,
productions.
Definitely.
for sure.
Quintessential quintuplets.
Oh no.
Seven Deadly
Yeah, they
Sins.
definitely did. I think the strong part in this adaptation is that they directed the really emotional character moments really well with the music and the voice acting and the camera and how they did everything. I think they did those moments really well.
Mm.
But like, yes, the CG for the Titans were better than the Colossal Titan CG in season 3, but like it's not better than how they animated the female Titan in season 1 or the armored and colossal titan season
But it's
2,
different.
like when they actually used okay, so like I have read the manga, so I knew what like fights were coming, and when I read the manga, like those fights were really epic, and then when I saw them animated, it was like anticlimactic for me. And it was definitely the CG that made it anticlimactic. So for me, it was disappointing in that aspect.
I could see that though.
Should we clarify real quick, because I was about to say something? We're going full on spoilers in case it wasn't clear enough.
Oh yeah, I mean this is a spoiler cast.
Yeah,
so
let's
yes.
not. Okay, just making sure. But there's that one scene of, and again, we're a bit jumping around, but as an example, there was this one scene at the beginning where Eren's fighting the Warhammer Titan, and there's just.
Yeah.
The CG was integrated with the 2D. What? No, because there's this incredible, like, moment where it creates, like, this hammer, and it's like. They integrate the CG and the 2D together, and it looks amazing. It looks really fucking good.
The part where she spawns the hammer looks great, but then when they're actually fighting, I'm like, I'm watching two Lego people fighting. Like I can't be invested in this. I just it's not like I lose immersion. I
like that reference to Lego
isn't
people
dramatic.
fighting.
It's just two like CG people fighting. I can't take it seriously.
I do know, however, that one of the things that people were bitching about was the character designs, and in terms of just the character designs, from what I've seen from panels of the manga that take place during this season, I have to say they did a better job at being faithful to the character designs in the manga than Wit did with their adaptation.
I definitely think I don't know what people are complaining about. I think the character designs were really well.
Yeah,
really well.
I said, I've seen studio swaps go way worse than this.
Hey, we had an entire episode about that.
Shit. Yeah, well, I think we are going to do an entire episode about that. You're right.
No, we've done about the anime switch studios. Bruh, we did an episode about that in the podcast.
Oh, well, yeah, we've already recorded that. You're right. I'm sorry.
Good morning,
I'm living
Alex.
in the fucking past. Okay, I'm old. Shut up. Moving on.
Oh my god.
Girl. Anyways, so yeah, the OP, I have no comment on the OP.
Great OP.
The music was so annoying in the OP.
No.
The visuals were all right.
This actually, I'm gonna go ahead and say I don't know what this OP is trying to convey, but it's certainly not what Attack on Titan has become.
I think it's supposed to be like the cruelty of war or whatever.
I don't know. It sounds like some generic K-pop music to me.
The OP sounds like a woman dying. Anyways.
What are you talking about? It's eerie. It's weird. I like it.
It's like it hurts my ears.
I don't know if it's the weakest OP in Attack on Titan, but it's certainly one of.
I like how eerie it is. It's really cool. Also, the imagery is really strong. It's really abstract. I don't know. It's a very Mappa OP. I mean, I was expecting something along the lines of what we got before, but like I don't hate it. I like
honestly,
it
I think that the OP seems more akin to something you'd see in Zombieland Saga than Attack on Titan.
That's great.
If only you would have watched the new Zombieland Saga OP, Alex.
Hush.
Ooh, if only.
In contrast, I really liked the ED. The ED was also quite creepy, but I didn't think it was like annoying. So I like the ED.
Yeah, I get creepy is one word for it.
Okay.
I would say it's unsettling with the vocals because it like invokes like this idea that something is about to end, like with how slow and melodic it is. Which, I mean, it's the final
See,
season.
that's what I got
so-
from the OP. I mean, it just shows you like pretty much it's like, hey, horrors of war in your face. That's like what you get from it, and I kind of like it because it's like both in the visuals and the song itself, it kind of feels that way. It feels eerie, it feels unsettling, and very harrowing even to some extent. That's what I got from the OP. The ED is really cool though as well, but it's kind of, I don't know. I didn't get much out of it. I just thought the song was pretty good.
So I think I'm pretty sure they added some new tracks to the OST in this season, and it's credited to Kota Yamamoto. So I'm gonna assume that he's doing the new tracks for this season. And I thought they were really good. They weren't like they didn't steal the show like Hiroyuki Sawano's tracks did, but I thought they really accentuated the scenes really well. I really loved the new OST tracks.
Yeah, I mean, it's not Hiroyuki Sawano, but it's not that far off either.
Yeah, it still feels like a part of the same soundtrack to some extent.
Now, it's worth pointing out that Hiroyuki Sawano is still credited as a music creator in this show. Now, if you listen carefully, there are some old music cues that are used throughout this season, so that's why I think he's still credited, because they are still using some music cues that he created.
I think he was still involved. It was ages ago when he sort of tweeted out like a picture of him with the other composer working on it, so it
That
seemed
may
like he
be-
was still involved with it.
Show and I couldn't confirm that. We actually tried to before we started recording this to confirm whether it was like a co-production between the two, or they just borrowed Hiroyuki Sawano's music cues and tracks from before, but we couldn't actually confirm whether that was the case. They're both credited with the music in Attack on Titan's final season, though.
Either way, I love the OST. We
Yep.
love it. So jumping into the story, why don't we start off with how Whiplash the show actually starts, because previous to the first episode of this season, we've been basically in a medieval setting with like castles and moats and like shotguns, and now we're in trenches.
I was so
with
confused.
tanks raining
It was
machine
so
gun artillery
good.
on us.
I was so confused, like, because I remember, this is one of the few times I remember where a season of Attack on Titan left off. I remember us being on the beach, everyone was happy, it was hopeful for the future, and then boom, in the middle of a war in a trench.
Oh, I fucking love that switch.
Girl, when I read this chapter in the manga, I was like, am I reading the right?
Oh,
am I on
no,
the right
no.
manga? Like, what
I had
what
a-
show am I watching?
I had a similar
What
experience.
book am I reading?
I had a similar experience. So when I started watching season 3 of Attack on Titan back when we did that recording, I accidentally started watching the final episode of the season first before I watched the first one, and I was
Oh my
so
God,
fucking confused.
Alex.
And I thought, did I do the same thing again? Did I watch the
My
last
God.
episode of this?
No,
Wait,
it is
so-
a really jarring start.
So, how long, while you were reading the manga, how long did it take till you finally, like, it was revealed that the story switched to Molly's perspective? Because, like again, it's a
No,
month.
it's the
It was
exact
a monthly
same way.
release, right? The manga. So, like, how long
I'm
were
pretty
you
sure
still
I
in the dark
binged
about
it.
it while you read it?
No, I binged it when the jump was already released, so there wasn't a wait for me.
Oh, okay.
I can only imagine how it must have been if you were reading this every month, though. Like, that chapter comes out, you're like, what the fuck?
Girl, I can't do monthly manga. Like, I lose track of the story. Like, I can't do a chapter a month, honey.
Berserk would like to
But
have a talk with
whatever.
you.
Yeah, yeah. Berserk would like to
it
have
was
many
also-
conversations with you.
I mean, adding to how jarring the change in setting was, they really made it awkward with like how they introduced Falco, because they introduce him as if he's a reincarnation of Eren, and I was so confused.
What?
Because
it's like reaching his hand out to the sky or whatever when you first see him. That's why.
He literally was mumbling to himself. It's like, what just happened? I was like swinging around with maneuver gear with blades attacking titans. What
No,
am
he
I
didn't.
doing? And I'm like, he did. If you rewatch the episode, he says those exact words.
I don't think it says it exactly like that, but he does say those things, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, he
Shit,
does.
I
He
need to
acts
watch
that in the
again.
anime.
He acts like he's having an out-of-body experience.
I need to watch that.
I
again. What the
literally
fuck?
thought like what? Yeah, when I first read that, I was like, "Is this a reincarnation of Aaron? Is this like an alternate universe? What is happening?" But
That's what I thought at first too. It's like, is this supposed to be an alternate universe? Like, because I thought the equipment that they're using looks very World War One-ish, right? And I'm thinking,
Very
Uh-huh.
much.
is this supposed to be like an alternate universe thing where these are the characters in our actual universe?
it was very jarring. In
Speaking of
multiple
World War
ways.
One, I really liked the sort of imagery they built up in that opening scene of the trenches and like the trench warfare. That very much like is reminiscent of the First World War and even
I love the
second.
bolt action rifles they use.
Yeah, I know, right? It's just really fucking cool imagery that evoked that sort of.
Definitely. I feel like a lot of this season takes a lot from the real world in terms of how the war is conducted, and I really like that.
For sure.
Minus
it's really
minus the
interesting.
giant fucking mutant people.
Yeah.
That's true. But I thought it was like super interesting to see how they incorporated the Titans into modern warfare tactics. Like they're getting the Titans to dig up the trenches. I thought that was really
Also,
cool.
dropping the Titans from from a zeppelin to crush their
Oh my
enemies.
god, that
like,
was
whoa.
so epic.
Yeah. No, that whole.
I also,
that,
I also,
that
also
was
like to
amazing.
point out that like they use airships, right, as like as bombers and as troop transports too. A lot of people forget, like we think about airships today as like blimps and these things that are just novelties, honestly, but people forget that airships were originally created to be nighttime bombers.
Yep.
Girl, I literally had to look it up because I'm like, how the fuck are they using blimps to raid people? Like, can't you just shoot them down? And then I like looked it up. And I'm like, oh, you can have war specified airships that you can't shoot down. I'm like,
Yeah.
oh, I didn't even know that.
You can still
I didn't
shoot
know
them
that
down
was
with like a
thing.
missile or something, but yeah, like
Well, obviously yes, but like not with like a rifle. You can't shoot them down.
yeah.
Like if you puncture one area of the airship, it's like sectioned off so that
Yeah.
it won't go down.
It's not like
Yeah.
a balloon that it would just
I didn't
pop.
know that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought it would just pop.
But that's originally what airships were created for. They were originally created for war, to drop fucking bombs on people in the middle of the night because they were quiet.
So yeah, it was really interesting seeing how they incorporated these real war tactics. They also incorporated a lot of the atrocities of war
Yep.
that occur in real wars, like child soldiers and
PTSD.
suicide bombers. PTSD, shell shock. Even post-war suicide. Later on, we see one of the people suffering from shell shock just jump out of the window.
We also see Reiner
sad.
put a fucking gun in his mouth. That's pretty cool.
Oh, what a great scene.
That was a really good scene.
I was like, do it. You won't. No balls. No balls.
Oh my
my
god.
poor boy
No.
just wants to die.
Oh god. We get a lot of good character development from Reiner.
Right, it's
Finally,
like-
we finally get character development. What a fucking shock. It only took 4 seasons, guys, and we finally getting character development.
Yeah, because we didn't know who he was before.
Technically, we got character development back in season 2, but sure, Alex, I guess you just forgot. You tend
I
to
wasn't
forget
meaning
some
just
stuff,
for him.
as we noticed
I was
in this
meaning
recording.
in general. I'm meaning in general. Like, it's nice to actually see character development from some of these characters after 4 seasons. I guess it just took a time skip where I didn't get to see anything that went on.
That's what I just said. Back in season 2, we had character development for him. What are you talking about?
Anyway.
No, I'm just...
Um,
Sure. Yeah, I fucking love the direction the story took Reiner in this season. He's such a broken person after all he did. It's kind of depressing.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great. I mean, it's depressing, but it's really good development.
Oh yeah,
I
in all
really
the right
enjoyed
ways, it's depressing.
watching
That's
it.
what. Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, after the whole assault on Fort Slava in the beginning, we move on to Liberio, and there's like various politics happening when they're preparing to assault Paradis. And while they're in Liberio, that's where we get most of the character development for Reiner. It was really disturbing seeing him, sort of break character in these moments where he just like has these outbursts
Yeah.
where he just like reverts into a completely different personality. Where, like, for example, when he's lecturing Falco about talking shit about inheriting one of the 9 Titans, or when he's telling Gabby's family about the quote-unquote hell of Paradise, aka Sasha not sharing her potato. Like, those were really disturbing moments, and they directed those scenes really well.
Yeah.
I like how they turn a scene from, I think it was season 1, where it's literally portrayed in season 1 as being like this lighthearted, funny scene, and the way Reiner retells it, he retells it as like this horrific incident.
It's great. Yeah.
It's more like he's having an inner conflict where he's supposed to think that they're like savages, but like the only bad things he can think of are like not really bad things. So like
Yeah,
he's having
well, at least
this,
in
like,
comparison to everything else, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, and like just the shock on his aunt's face was like, "What the fuck are you doing? You're losing it. You're losing it."
It's like he's been told all this stuff all of his life, and then he actually sees it, and he's like, "Wait a minute,
They're just
this
a bunch
isn't
of
anything
idiots.
like I was told." It's like, this is the thing about propaganda, right? If you're indoctrinated with it for long enough and you start to believe it, then it becomes your entire personality, and then you experience something that goes against it, and you don't know how to react.
What did you guys
Yeah.
think about switching perspective to Mark? Because I think that's like the most brilliant like move they did with this season when it comes to taking the story in this direction.
I wish they'd started there earlier. I wish they'd started I honestly wish season 4, the final season, should have been where the story started.
But then you would you think it would? I don't think it would have been the same. It's kind of genius that you start in this very closed off environment where it seems kind of familiar. Oh, it's just against Titans. It's like your brain instantly thinks, oh, it's like a zombie movie or whatever. You're right. It's like there are these brainless monsters. They don't mean anything. And then slowly you get more information about, oh shit, the Titans are people. We're killing people, and you're so. Step by step with the characters discover the origin of this world, and then by the end of season 3 you're like, oh shit, there's a whole world outside. So I think it's kind of brilliant that the next move is like, okay, now let's take this everything we know and change perspectives to the other side, to the quote-unquote enemy side. I think it's fucking brilliant that they did that switch.
It would have been brilliant had the story been written differently. And not had almost zero character development between the first and third seasons.
We just talked about that in season 2. There was character development.
For like 2 people.
No, what do you mean?
I genuinely believe that the story of Attack on Titan would have been so much better had it just started with the final season and just completely ignored everything that happened before.
Girl, that's the whole point of the series is that you have to learn slowly about the world. Like that's not.
But I don't
part of
care
the
about
journey,
the world.
discovery.
The world
That's
is so badly portrayed. It's so badly set
you
up.
just
and
knew a
designed.
part of the world. You didn't know anything beyond it. That's the interesting thing. It's like, wait,
Yeah,
where
but
are
I
these
don't care
Titans
about that
coming
part of the
from?
world because it's stupid. Like nothing that happens on the island is fun or engaging or entertaining.
Kenny, but sure.
Anyway.
Okay, Kenny was the one lone standout, but
Okay.
Okay.
I'll give you
well,
Kenny.
when I.
So I'll give him Kenny. If he wants to bring up Kenny being a great part of the first 3 seasons, I will 100% agree. Kenny, that entire story arc is the only good part about the first 3
What
seasons.
did you at least think of the Marlin characters?
Though some of them we don't get to spend a lot of time with.
Those we do.
But like, I mean, Gabby seems to be the only one taking initiative to do anything in this story. Granted, everything she's doing is fucking wrong, but at least she's taking some initiative. I mean,
I
Falco
think-
just seems like a fucking. He seems like he has a head on his shoulders, and he's questioning everything he's been told.
I like with Gabby. I mean, Gabby is obviously very much a mirror of Eren from the first 3 seasons, which I really enjoy. But I think,
Interesting.
but the cool thing about Gabby is like, just like Eren, she shouts all her ideology, and it's like, okay, sure, we get it. But instead of just keeping her character at that point, They fucking, this entire scene, they just rub in her face like, oh, that's what you believe in? Well, guess what? This is what's happening when you kill people. Look at all suffering you caused. And I think that's like, I don't necessarily like Gabby, but I do like the writing and the direction they took her in, especially with how much, like after her killing Sasha is like, even, that's the brilliant thing about Sasha's death is even if you didn't like Sasha, it is really fucking interesting to see how it affected so many people and how the show just shows Gabby how much suffering that caused, just killing one person. So I really like that direction. That was really good.
I mean, like, there are multiple scenes showing the implications of her one action of shooting Sasha.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of those scenes were really well done, and I do give props to Mappa for making it really emotional. I mean, that was great. Yeah, Gabby is, I mean, obviously I feel like you're supposed to hate her, but she does get a lot of good character moments, and I do enjoy seeing her convictions being tested.
One thing I don't understand, I guess these count as Marleyan characters, is that, so Marley is portrayed as this very, I guess you could say fascistic in a way, very militaristic, expansionist nation, right?
Yeah.
And they have this history of going out, conquering lands, and then subjugating the people that live there, right? They did the exact same thing with the Eldians.
No.
Or they tried to, at least. And one thing I don't understand is from a military perspective, like if you were a country that wanted to go out and do that, and you actually did, you went out and you subjugated lands and you kept expanding your empire, the last thing you would want to do is start conscripting the very people you've just subjugated into your own military, because that's just asking to be taken over. That's just asking to have everything you ever tried to do ripped apart from the inside.
That's why they brainwashed them to hate their lineage, to hate their people, to despise themselves, and to want to be a part of, like,
it doesn't
Marleyan
matter
society.
if you brainwash them, because it's not going to work on everyone. That's why it's a stupid idea.
I don't know if it's a stupid idea, but it is a wrong idea.
What you should do, no, well, obviously it's wrong, but if you really wanted to be smart about it, you'd walk into these lands, you'd take it over, and then you'd put these people to work. Like, you wouldn't, not in your military, but you'd make them, mine resources for you, or make shit, or, put them in work camps. But you wouldn't conscript them into your military. That'd be stupid.
Are you talking about the Eldian warriors or someone else?
Well,
Yeah.
like, there's other people, like, what's the dark-skinned guy's name? Onyo Poko, or whatever the fuck his name is.
Did
Like,
you just call him Onyo Poko? What the fuck is wrong
I don't know
with
what
you?
the fuck his name was. I know it's something long and it starts with the letter O.
I'm not gonna attempt to pronounce it.
And
so we'll
I
go
also
with
just
Alex.
love. I know the only person that seems to ever say his name is Hanji, and she says it with such a deep voice. It's so great.
Bless Hanji.
But no, like, there's him and the other chick / guy. I don't know what that person is supposed to be. That they say that they're not Marleyan, but they're also not.
Yeah, they're from a
Eldian.
different country.
Yeah, but they've been taken over by Marley.
Yeah.
So, I mean, this obviously has happened multiple times. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not just talking about the Eldians that they're conscripting to turn them into Titans to be, warriors or whatever. I'm talking about other people, too, that they are also conscripting into their military.
I guess it's because Marley doesn't want to get their own citizens' hands dirty. They want to use, they want to outsource. But I get what you're saying. That's not,
It's a terrible strategy.
It's terrible, but it's greedy.
Remember that the whole of that, like, sort of nation, they're sort of built on hatred of others, right?
I mean,
so in the first place, it's kind of, they're coming from the wrong place and not the smartest.
Well, okay, fine. But I mean, this seems to have been preordained to happen from the beginning.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, listen, I'm not here to defend it, but say what you want about the Germans, at least they were smart enough to put the people they subjugated into work camps.
I mean, this isn't like a one-for-one reflection of the German...
No, it isn't. I'm not saying it's supposed to be either. I'm saying that's the smart thing to do, though. it's the smart thing to do is not to conscript your enemies into your own
But you
military.
forget that you forget though that in Mali the Eldians are still a minority. They couldn't really perform a coup or a revolution because of the invasion from Paradise. They could like actually do something, but there's still a minority there. They aren't that many compared to Marley.
I will say the one brilliant thing with the whole thing about the Eldians being on the island, and the Marlians who are, or not the Marlians, the Eldians who are like conscripted, I guess, for lack of a better term, to be the Titans. It's kind of an interesting stalemate that they orchestrated because the Eldians can't leave the island without starting a war. They can't invade the island, at least land wise, without losing a lot of resources. So it's kind of an interesting stalemate that they orchestrated.
That was kind of the whole point of the King living, is because he doesn't want to go to war anymore. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna go and chill on this island. If you're ever gonna come fight us, you're gonna die. It's like, okay.
As I say, it's an interesting stalemate.
Yeah, it is.
But now, I guess the whole thing is that since technology is advancing so much in the world, the stalemate's kind of rendered null and void because they're developing airships. And like soon you'd think they'd be developing airplanes.
Not necessarily. The technology means that using the 9 Titans that they currently have is not gonna work.
It's not as effective as it used to be
going forward. But it doesn't really affect the stalemate because you can have aircrafts, but if you have 1,000,000 Colossal Titans, that's not gonna defeat them. What broke the stalemate was that Eren ate the founder. So the founder, the founder, it's no longer the founder's will that stops the rumbling.
I don't understand that. That just seems like more convoluted Titan bullshit. So that's where I just completely fall asleep and don't give a shit no more.
That's fair. It is quite complicated. I will say it is quite a complicated.
I think they explained well enough.
Like I don't know.
2 seasons.
I don't know why. I don't know. I don't even remember why the founding Titan is important. What it
does. Because it carries the will of the king and it can command Titans. They've explained it for 2 seasons.
Stupid.
No, it's not. That's the
stupid.
rules of the world that they explained clearly enough, dude.
Have you considered that maybe these rules are really bad?
Again, your opinion, sure. But it's like, and even if it's a bit complicated, you've explained plenty of times. Anime, they like to fucking repeat stuff over and over again.
Well, apparently they didn't repeat it enough because I don't understand what the fucking founding
it's been established that your memory sucks, Alex. We just talked about it.
Who's Marco?
Who's Marco?
Wait, is Marco still alive?
No, he's dead.
No, I hate it here.
Oh, okay, good. Good, I don't have to remember who he is anymore.
Why am I here? Anyway.
Why? Okay, well, going all the way back to Liberio.
Oh my god, we're still not even past the invasion. Oh.
It's not like much else
honestly,
happens past that.
To be fair, I think the best part of this season happened in the first half.
The invasion is really fucking great.
Anyway.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I agree. But yeah, we do in Liberio get to see the backstory of Reiner, and see how he became a warrior and what he did when he invaded Paradise. And I thought that was so cool because we finally get the full picture of what exactly happened. I really love that, like seeing the scenes happen from a different perspective.
Yeah.
I love that. And just the amount of like development for Reiner, because you really understand who he is as a person, like living his whole life wanting to become an honorary Marleyan to have a family with his father, and then he finally meets his father and his father's like, fuck you, so his entire reason for living is just shattered. Oh my god, that's such interesting development.
Can we talk about Eren?
Do we have to?
Eren?
I don't know about you guys, but I really loved the development that he got in this season, how much he changed. Like,
never fucking change anime, because we always know when the main character grows out his hair, that means something really bad's happening.
It's the Nisio Isin treatment, bro.
So what was your guys' reaction to the older version of Eren when you first saw him, or when you first realized it was him?
I loved it. Because the moment you understand it's Eren, you're like, oh no, okay. You realize the implications and that they're invading Marley. Like, no question about it. There's no other way to see it except for an invasion. Is it an invasion that they planned or not? That's like a different thing. But the moment you realize it's Eren, you start asking all these questions, and I fucking love that. I really enjoy when shows throw like a curveball your way and you immediately start questioning, okay, what's next, what's gonna happen, why, how, and all of that. But I really enjoy how Aaron sort of changed, and he's like very cold and very much like very driven, like at the same time he's driven in his goals, but we don't really even know his goals, because by the end of the season I don't even think he's doing it like he actually revealed what his plan is. I think by the end of the season, he's like the only character we don't really know what his end game is, which is really interesting. But I like how
you put down here that he's posing as an Eldian soldier with PTSD. No, he is a soldier with
PTSD, pretty much.
Shut up. I hate it here. But yeah, I love how it's really such a whiplash in his character though, because like in season 3, he's still like
a whiny bitch.
It's 4 years ago. He's still like a driven. I don't know. He has goals in his life. He's like driven to.
But you could see the cracks of how he would become the way he is now.
Yeah, he's starting to like question things and mature, but he isn't like completely gone. But like in this season, he looks completely gone. Like he is completely broken. Like he just has this look in his eyes like he has no soul left.
Yeah. It's like he lost his humanity because he realized that to get his goals, people are going to die, and there's no other way to look at it. And it's like I have to do this. All I got
to say about that is good.
Good? What do you mean good?
I finally like Aaron.
Yeah, that's what I was looking to hear, dude. I was waiting for you to start talking. Go on.
I mean, why couldn't he have been like this in the beginning? I don't know.
Because you needed to see the journey
because you have to develop it.
See, this is exactly why this story should have started here, and throughout the course of it, you should have gotten flashbacks to why things are the way they are.
It's so much more interesting because you saw how he is, and you got to see him develop as is. Flashbacks are great and all. I don't mind flashbacks, but it's way more interesting to see a character grow slowly and see how he changes. And then when you see the end result and you look back at season 1, you're like, holy shit, whoa. That's why
you're absolutely right about that, but you assume when saying that it's going to be written well, and it wasn't.
I mean,
like, I'm not going to argue that season 1 was great, but it was okay. And I will argue that if season 2 was less so about Aaron, but specifically season 3, you got way more interesting development out of it because his like beliefs were challenged all the time. And then and when he realizes that, oh fuck, we're not gonna be free until we face our enemies, and you see that sort of like realization dawn on him, like fast forward to where we are now, it makes so much sense to see him this way, so cold and calculated and like just really fucking brutal, honestly.
No, I disagree. I'd much rather have seen him start out like this, and then we get glimpses as to why he became this way. I think it would have been far more interesting. I think it would have been far more interesting for almost all the characters to see it that way.
Well, you watch order, go for it, dude. Do it.
Not the new watch order.
I genuinely think I would have really enjoyed Attack on Titan more had this been the starting point for the story. Like, no joke.
I mean, it's interesting.
Okay, that's an
interesting discussion to be had.
That's a hot take. Yeah, I definitely enjoyed where they went with Aaron's character. This is definitely the extremity of his character that we knew was going to happen from like where his character was going before, and I'm glad that they went this far. And he's willing to kill civilians, and he's just like a complete homicidal.
I don't give a fuck. I see
now.
My goal. I'm going for it. Whoever gets in the way gets in the way.
I do think though it's not like he is sort of like intentionally burning down bridges. Like I think he is I don't know what his end game is, but I think he intentionally sort of goes this extreme and burns bridges with his friends in order to sort of maybe by the end of the show sacrifice himself for like the greater good or whatever. I think there is like still it's like sort of posing and not being like completely open with his friends.
If your goal is to sacrifice yourself at the end of your plan, then alienating yourself from your friends and family would be a great thing to do, because then it makes it easier for them to say goodbye.
Pretty much.
I guess so, but I don't quite understand how he would sacrifice himself in the situation they're in. I don't understand that. And the ambiguity of like I don't know, like yes, his alienating himself would lead up to a self-sacrifice. I see that, but I just don't know
By which
how
means
that
they
would
would
work
like
out, and that
sacrifice and
concerns
save
me.
everyone. I don't know that either, but it was very interesting seeing along how the season like progressed, seeing more and more characters reveal their true intentions. But Eren is still the only one we don't know what his true intention is, and I think it is leading up to whenever we see the ending of this story is to him sort of sacrificing himself. I just don't know how.
Possibly, but it's gonna have to be a really good sacrifice to justify all the bullshit he did.
Speaking of bullshit, it did. I love that one scene where you sort of like not Eren, Armin and Mikasa are talking to Gabby, and it's like slowly like tensions are rising. There's a revolt going on, and then you hear in the background this door cracks, and Eren just shows up. It's like, hey,
Oh, that
That
was
was
beautiful
so
directing.
good.
I love that. That was
You could
so
just hear the
good.
door
I was so
cracks, then-
confused
Hey.
because I thought, like, did he just appear out of thin air?
Nobody can actually hear the door opening.
You
the
hear him
footsteps.
walking
It's so
into the
good.
door.
See, I
Yeah.
didn't hear the sound effects. So I just like, did he just materialize? Like, it was John Cena? Like, now you see me, now you don't.
Oh, it was so fucking good.
Oh
It was
my
right.
God. That was so good.
I was like, is this some newfound Titan power I don't know about? Just invisibility?
Fucking great moment.
That's gonna be the next Titan power, invisibility. I'm calling it now.
We already know all
Invisible
all
Titan.
the Titan's powers, Alex.
Oh, I'm sure there'll be some convoluted way to create like a new 10th Titan.
Why am I here?
I guess we can talk about, the climax of the season, which was the assault on Liberio by the Paradis forces. That was quite a fight.
It's fucking great. People dying left and right.
Yeah, I know.
Oh my God,
I like how
yes.
theatrical the lead up to the fight
Yes.
is too. Where
The
I forget the
declaration
guy's
of war.
name, Willie. What a shitty name too, Willie.
My man Willie.
But Willie is just on the stage. He's so theatrical and it's so over the top. Like, you know something's gonna happen because they're pulling out the stops for this. It's like you're just waiting for the right time for it to happen. And like all of this is happening while Aaron's having this like, "Yo, hey Ryder, how you doing?" conversation in the
what a
fucking.
Oh my
great
God, that
scene.
conversation was so
the dialogue
epic.
is so good.
I also like the whole the look on Reiner's face throughout the entire conversation doesn't change. Like, you can tell in his mind, he's like, "How do I get out of this? How the fuck do I
Dude.
get out of this? How the fuck do I get out of
It
this?"
looks like the devil showed up in front of him, which is like, it's such a great episode. I love it. Now the tensions are rising slowly, and just Reiner is like, and like realizing, yeah, this is over. This is the end. It's such a good episode.
Like, you
Yeah,
can
no,
you
that
can
was
hear the
great.
clock ticking inside Reiner's head. He's like, "Oh shit, I've gotten myself into
Oh
a
shit!
corner.
I
How
guess
the
I should
fuck
have
do I
killed
get out of
myself.
here? I should have
Oh,
pulled the
no.
goddamn trigger."
The moment when Reiner realizes that Eren says that, like, you're the kind of person that doesn't care about civilians and is gonna do what he has to for his goal. So
Keeps moving
we're the
forward.
same. I'm gonna do the
Yep.
same. Reiner was like, "Oh fuck, well, well, I'm fucked."
This is the end. Beautiful.
Pretty
friend.
much. Such a.
And a lot of civilians died in very graphic, horrific ways in that whole entire encounter.
And two of the Marlians that we've been like trying to meet.
Yep, two of
over
the
course of
candidates.
the last few episodes end up dying. It's not Sophia.
Yeah, it is, right?
Zofia.
Yeah.
Zofia, thank you.
Zofia.
I knew
It's
it
a
was some
Z.
weird way to say Sophia.
Yeah, the two candidates just died.
And Udo, who I just kept wanting to call Udon.
Okay, Alex.
Yeah, his death was quite
Graphic, yeah.
horrific.
Yeah, he gets trampled to death.
Yeah, they did a really good job of portraying how horrific civilian casualties can be.
That's civilians getting caught in the crossfire of war. It happens a lot.
Yeah, unfortunately. But the actual like Titan fight itself, I really liked how it seemed so one-sided at first, and then the tides turned when all the other Titans showed up, and then after they showed up, like they got defeated immediately, and the tides turned
Yeah.
back. So that was a really cool fight, honestly.
That shot of the scouts just storming the Jaw Titan, and he's like, "Wait, why are you running towards me? Aren't you supposed to be afraid of me?" And like how he starts like getting scared of them attacking him, almost killing him. That was such a great moment.
No, and they're all of them are like, "Oh, I can't beat the shit out of you without getting closer."
I really like that they had Sasha
As a sniper.
snipe yeah, that was so cool. Like she moved from like an archer to a sniper. That's so
Can
badass.
I just say like what a great job for her personality too. Cause
I
she
don't get
seems
it.
so happy to kill people like that from a distance.
She wasn't happy.
She didn't seem that
All of
happy.
them looked
She was pretty,
depressed,
like,
dude.
sad. Yeah, they were pretty sad.
Nah, she was happy.
Okay.
Oh my god, not that. And oh my god, Eren using the Jaw Titan to crack the War Titan's
that's so fucking
crystallization.
cool.
That was so epic. And like Gabby and like everyone was just watching as
horror.
like Eren like used one of their friends to like kill their like nobles. Oh my god, that was so horrific and so like it was so good.
Them living up to the sort of reputation of being devils and all that. Everything about the invasion is so brilliant.
Oh,
So
first,
fucking cool.
since you mentioned it, if you're ever rewatching this, great idea for a drinking game. Take a shot. Anyone says Akuma, because they say it like 800 billion times throughout the course of this fucking season.
Yeah, it's part of the fucking lexicon, dude.
Apparently, I guess there's only one way to say devil in Japanese.
Okay.
But I want to say, even as someone who wasn't familiar with the source material, at least this part of it, like the second that Levi has the one shot on the Beast Titan and he falls to the ground, is like dead. I was like, that was planned. That was 100% planned.
That's an amazing twist, by the
Yeah,
way.
I thought it was quite weird.
No, I don't. Well, I won't say it was an amazing twist because the second he one shots him, I knew something was up.
I
knew
don't
it
know.
was
I
not
was
gonna be
like,
that
I was
easy.
waiting for like something like more from the Beast Titan, but then the moment Zeke shows up on the blip, I was like, oh my god, yeah, oh whoa, yeah, oh that, yeah, I'm done with that. I think it's like a very. I think it's very clever.
I do love when they ask him how everything went, and he just looks at him and says, "It went great. There were a few miscalculations." And then I think it's Hanji that says, "Who are these children?" And he just pipes up, "Miscalculations."
That was a bit camp for me.
I fucking loved it. My man Dio.
I love that line. From now on, anytime as someone asks me how something goes and it didn't go quite according to plan, I'm just gonna say there were miscalculations.
Not bad.
I liked it. It's a really cool development as well of Zeke like building this sort of relationship with Eren, and it's great because again, it's sort of not everything is black and white. Like for most of the time, we thought, oh, okay, Zeke is part of the Marleyans still, but then he's like, well, I see an opportunity here to free Eldians, and it is like sort of a shock because it goes against everything we thought about him. Because back in season 3, we thought he saw his father as a monster, and it's like he didn't agree with him at all about how Marley is like the worst or whatever. But now it's like, no, he's sort of still carrying on that sort of mission to free Eldians, although I don't know how he's gonna do it because euthanizing all Eldians still seem kind of cruel, so I don't know.
I will say something I did want to say about this whole like assault on Liberio or whatever the fuck it's called, was that everyone seemed to have a specific job and everything was timed. Like when you see this happen, then you go. When you see this happen, then you go.
It's like it was
And
planned.
that's like some military precision right there. Like this obviously took a lot of planning, and I like the fact that like the people had jobs that were specific to things that they were good at.
But
Strategy,
what do you expect?
dude.
You've seen what kind of people they are. They
Yeah.
live their entire life like in the fear of dying.
It makes
I
sense.
wasn't
They're gonna have military
expecting
statues.
such good writing.
Okay.
How nice
well,
is it to be supposedly
back
surprised,
to-
Alex? Am I right?
I mean, it's been fucking long enough, 70-some episodes now. It's about time I got surprised by something.
Going back to Zeke, we actually do get to see his backstory and how he grew up living with Grisha Jaeger as a father. And I think they did a really good job of showing just like how how, I guess, traumatizing or stressful it was to have a father like Grisha Yeager and what drove him to turn Grisha into the authorities. I thought it was like a really good backstory.
And it's very interesting to like contrast that with Grisha's telling of the events that we got in season 3. It's really fascinating. I think it's very well done how you get these two different perspectives about from the man who actually done it to his son who was like, well, Dad, kind of fucked us over, but sure.
And you see how like Zeke kind of mentally breaks and becomes who he is, and like someone able to like commit mass homicide. Girl, it all starts when you're young, honey. It all starts when you're young. So after the assault, we move on to the characters going to Paradise, and there's some sort of political turmoil between just supporters of Eren and the government.
Jägeristas.
I love it.
Easy for you to say. It was definitely, I mean, it was interesting, but like, I would say it was slower.
Oh, it's
than
way
what
slower.
we previously had in the season.
Honestly, it's the best part of the season.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh, really?
Because it's again a lot like you saw in the first half of season 3. It dealt with the human element of everything that's going on. I've said this multiple times now. Attack on Titan is only really good when it actually deals with the human element of what's going on. Every other time, it's really bad writing.
I agree that it's like I agree that it's like a lot of the best episode in the season. And don't get me wrong, the invasion is still like incredible. I love it, but I do really enjoy the slower pace of the second half of this season. All the different conversations and like how they show and show you all the suffering that like what are the consequences of it. And then again when you reach the end of this part of the story of like how the tensions are rising back again and Eren is breaking out and forming his group, and it's really great writing all around. I love it.
No, yeah, I definitely enjoyed this arc, but it was definitely a change of pace.
True.
For sure. The pacing is very, very different. And it kind of, I mean, if you're looking at the pacing of like the first part of this season, it definitely comes to almost like a screeching halt almost compared to the pace that you're at before.
Yeah.
I did want to say though, like the idea of Gabby like escaping from her holding cell or prison or whatever she's at, and then like by coincidence ending up at Sasha's like parents' orphanage. Yeah, that seemed like a little too coincidental for me.
I mean, I don't think it's that coincidental because, I mean, Paradise is a pretty small colony, and eventually, by some way, she was going to meet someone who was related to Sasha because she was a pretty prominent police officer or whatever Survey Corps person. Like, even if she didn't meet the parents, she would have, like, she met Niccolo. So,
I mean, she would have eventually met someone who knew Sasha. Yeah, probably. But the fact that she goes right to the parents' orphanage, I'm like...
That's like the only issue I had with this arc is... that it was too contrived that they met him, and the fact that they broke out of the prison was like I was kind of that easily okay. I was kind of taken aback by that.
I mean, they're trained warriors. I didn't really find it contrived, but that's a fair.
That was surprising to me. That it was like, oh, you that easily got away from prison, even though you're like prisoners of war. It's like I was kind of surprised, but like it didn't take away from the experience. I was like, just kind of surprised for it. But it's like okay.
That's also something I don't understand either. So, like, the place they were being held, right? There was only one person guarding them? Why? Why would you only have one person guarding them? Maybe you could say because trained warriors?
Because to them they're just children. Maybe it's not that well.
Because everyone else, all the other...
I don't know.
All the other personnel got eaten by Titans, girl. They're understaffed, honey.
I mean... fair enough, I guess. I don't know. It seems like for someone like this... or for prisoners like this, you would have more than one guard on rotation at a time.
Yeah, it's kind of whatever. To me. But I was like,
okay.
It was my point is, it seems like it was way too easy for them to escape. That's my whole point.
Yeah, I was kind of like, what? But aside from that, I was like, I guess sure. Let's move on.
I mean, like, literally compared to like a prison in in Marley, if it was a prison in Marley, I would find that hard to believe. But it's like you're literally in like a developing country that's like barely getting their shit together. Like I find it believable personally, because like they haven't really established much.
Maybe, I guess. I don't know. It just seems like even if you were understaffed, you'd have at least 2, because there's 2 prisoners. Have 2 guards.
Oh my god, Alex, I'm so done.
Tell me about it.
Well, speaking of Gabby, she was definitely the highlight of this arc for me, at least, because she got a lot of really good development with Kaya, the blonde orphan,
who almost fucking murdered her.
Oh my god, that was
so good.
fucking epic.
Can I just say
so
that
good.
Thing about Gabby that I found, it almost made me laugh every time she was on screen, because every time she's on screen, she's spewing some kind of racist vitriol. Is like she had, I don't know if it's her character design.
Is it racist if it's about yourself?
I mean, can you be racist toward yourself? That's a good question. I don't know.
That's not an actual question.
Well,
please
as
don't
a
ask
Jew, never mind.
Yeah, Natalia, can you be racist against yourself?
So about that.
No,
I hate this conversation.
The thing about it I find funny is like so many times when she's talking, especially when she talks about the Akama, everybody drink, is that she has like the best crazy eyes, and it reminds you like if you've ever seen these public freakout videos of these Karens, like just with the crazy.
Not the
Gabby a Karen?
Yes, I am.
God.
I mean, she is kind of.
Gabby is the Karen of the Attack on Titan universe.
I hate it.
I just love how she just is shown how much like people were hurt because she killed Sasha, and then I love how Sasha's dad is like sort of he's come to terms with it, and it's like I don't want any more suffering to happen because of this.
Bitch, if that had been me, and Niccolo gave me that knife, I'd have stabbed it right through her heart.
Oh my god.
I'd have stabbed her right through the fucking heart.
I mean, Kaya almost did, honey. Kaya went straight for the jugular. I love all the like the people who want to kill her and the people who don't want to kill her. Like they all lead up to her learning that, you know, these people have human emotions.
They're people like her.
And they're not just devils. You know, they're actual people.
I get what it's trying to do. It's trying to say, hey, you know, we're the same. We don't really want to murder as much as we may hate some of the things, certain people, and some of the things that they do. At the end of the day, we don't really want to kill people. I get that's the message that they're going for. It's just like, bitch, a real man would have stabbed that girl through the fucking heart.
Okay, Alex.
It just seems like people complained, and rightly so, I think, about Eren having a bunch of plot armor throughout the first 3 seasons of Attack on Titan. And I think the same thing can be lobbed at Gabby. She has a lot of plot armor around her.
I disagree.
There's at least a dozen times where she should have been killed, and she hasn't.
No, I disagree. I totally disagree.
Yeah,
I think it was totally.
Well, first of all, I don't even wait. Does Eren have plot armor?
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Only once, and it's kind of the reveal that he's a Titan.
Whatever.
That happened only once.
Yeah, that's one time.
One time he supposedly died, and it's like, oh, he's a Titan, so like, you know. But that's it. Yeah. He has nothing to say.
We've already talked about this in the previous seasons.
Like the thing is that like when Gabby is supposed to die and she doesn't, like there's a good emotional character reason why she doesn't die.
I think it's totally justified
like, it's all
the way
justified.
that she's like.
That may be true. I just don't agree with it.
Okay. Alice just wants Gabby to die,
she gets
is
the shit beaten out of her all the time, dude. That's not enough for you.
No, it's not. Stab the bitch. I'm saying stab the bitch.
I mean, I'm sure a lot of people agree that they want Gabby to be stabbed. So, I mean, I'm not opposed to it.
I mean, child murder.
But I do.
I'm not opposed to child murder, but
I'm not opposed to Gabby murder.
I really like the development.
But
the direction she was landing.
I do really, yes, I do like the development.
I like I say, I get the message they're going for there, and yeah, it definitely does serve the plot. But I mean, I would have done it.
And it serves her character. What do you mean? It's
also
I mean, we still have yet to see the big payoff to all of this. Like, how is she? What's next for Gabby? But if they stick the landing with the payoff, then yeah, I think it's a great direction. Again, it's really fucking refreshing to see something like that a character who spews all this stupid like nonsense. It's like, well, guess what? It doesn't work that way. They're not just devils. These devils have families, and families that are not part of the fight. And you know,
I mean, she's already starting to get her comeuppance by realizing that her actions are endangering Falco, and she's like regretting it.
Well, and she's realizing slowly that her worldview is kind of skewed because she's been buying into propaganda her entire
But again,
life.
she's a kid. Like, she doesn't know any better.
One thing I do like about this whole thing, especially the confrontation in the restaurant with Gabby and Falco and everybody, is that there's a scene where Niccolo takes a wine bottle and breaks it over Falco's head, and he immediately becomes unconscious.
My fragile boy.
In so many in so many like Hollywood productions, you see that people do that, breaking glass bottles over people's heads, and they go, oh, my head, and then they're like ready to go. They're just like just bleeding a little bit. In real life, that wouldn't happen. In real life, what would happen is exactly what happened to Falco, because full glasses, especially like of wine, hurt like a motherfucker when they get hit upside your head, and they will almost always make you fall unconscious.
Are you speaking from experience, Alex?
You know this from experience?
No, I don't know it from personal experience, but I know it's happened before, and that's exactly what happens when you get hit by something like that.
Mm-hmm.
FBI, investigate. So I think that's really all I had to say. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to
I
touch
need the
up
second
on?
half.
For fuck's sake, yeah, I do.
Oh, God.
For fuck's sake, yeah, I do. Like the Levi and Beast Titan fight here, 10 times better than the Levi Beast Titan fight in season 3.
Animation-wise, I disagree. I
mean, whatever. I'm talking about the way it's portrayed.
No, I like the fight. It's really fucking good.
Much
Still,
better.
what do you mean? No, wait. Sorry, did you say season 3?
Whenever Levi fights the
in
Beast
season
Titan.
2, right?
No, they fought in season
anyway.
3.
Second half of season 3.
That's when Levi and the...
Girl, too many seasons. Anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Exactly. Too many seasons. This entire story could have been told in like 30 episodes.
I want to go.
Anyways.
But yo,
that fight was
Levi
great.
And Beast
I agree.
Titan
The fight was really good.
In this season
that
was so much better than
It was
season
a really
3's.
cool fight. I honestly, for a second, thought
Like,
Levi's
this
gonna
is
die.
the Beast Titan fight that should have been fucking hyped up for me.
Again, I thought...
It wasn't even that long,
I mean,
though.
so was...
Neither
was the
was
other
the
fight,
Beast
though.
Titan fight in season 3.
What are you talking about?
But there was a full lead up to it. Like, that was part of a battle.
The lead up to this is like 7 episodes.
No, they were like in the trees for like 2 minutes.
Yeah, and you see. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about you know that they're in the trees for like 3 or 4
Yeah,
episodes
they were there
before it
like...
even happens, and there's all this like banter back and forth, this witty banter back and forth between Levi and Zeke, and it's like really great to look.
The fuck when all the soldiers turn into Titans because the wine was with the fucking spinal fluid. It's so fucking good.
I mean that to me was
Yeah,
I mean that was cool to see. That was cool to see. To me, that was a really contrived thing. The whole thing with the spinal fluid is so stupid.
But
in my
they
opinion.
fucking established that it makes you into a Titan if you're LD, and dude, that's what they've been injecting themselves in with.
I exactly, but I don't like it. So I think it's so stupid that this is also activated with this fucking
But they fucking
voice.
established it already in previous seasons.
I know that they but I don't like the fact that it's done with his voice, because the voice can only carry so far, and you see people that are
Aaron did it in
away
season
that
2.
never
What are
hear
you
his
talking
voice.
about?
It's because they're connected by that web that you saw. Like, it's not physical distance. It's like another plane.
It's been established in
I
previous
forgot
seasons,
about that,
dude.
but I don't like it. That's another thing about the Titans I don't like. It's more convoluted Titan bullshit that's stupid. But I love the witty banter in the lead up to the fight between Levi and Zeke,
great
especially
dialogue.
like right before it happens, when he's reading the book that he's been reading for like the last 3 episodes, where Levi says, "How's the book?" and he says, "Great for a book I've read 7 times."
Because Levi is just ready to kill this motherfucker. He's so ready.
And then Levi turns around, and then he looks back,
And he starts running.
and Zeke's like, "Nigarundaya!"
He's channeling that Joestar bloodline.
He's channeling the inner Joseph Joestar. Ironic that he's voiced by the same guy that is Dio.
It's that Jonathan blood he got when he took over his body, dude.
I know, right?
The season,
I love
every
that.
scene with Zeke is amazing.
That's why that's part of the reason I love this Beast Titan fight so much more than the one in season 3. As much as I love the lead up to the fight in season 3, the actual fight itself is really disappointing in season 3. This actually was really fun to watch.
I like the
also because like Levi is pissed.
Yeah. I was really I thought he was gonna die in that fight. I was surprised he made it out.
I did too. I was so prepared for Levi to die in this fight. I was like, wow.
But maybe he did die in the explosion.
He's becoming Guts. Levi is becoming Guts.
Maybe.
He's literally becoming too angry to die.
I mean, I didn't think he died to the mindless Titan.
I thought he was going to die.
And then
I thought he was going to die. Yeah, because they surprised him.
You think he can die to
dude,
mindless
it was
Titans?
one hell of an ambush. Because suddenly he was like, "Oh no, they're my comrades." Like, "Oh no."
Girl, you think he cares? He's killed his comrades before.
It was, I don't know. It seemed like he was sort of worn out by that time in the story. It was like, just want to die. Everyone's depressed this season. I wasn't.
As I have said though, I think that. I just think that the whole thing with the lead up to this one, because it's a mind game between Levi and Zeke in the lead up to it, that it was so much more satisfying when the fight actually happened.
I can get behind that.
Than it was with, I mean, again, the lead up in the Beast Titan fight in season 3 is great because Erwin was like doing that whole like, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead kind of thing. That was great to watch. It was fun to watch, but the actual fight itself in season 3 was a super letdown.
I don't know. I think the animation was really amazing. How we fucking decimated him.
Again, I'm not talking about how it looks. I'm talking about how it felt. The Beast Titan fight in season 4 was more satisfying than season 3.
I mean, I thought this season's fight was good. I thought the season 3 Beast Titan fight was like one of the best moments of the anime, just because like. The fact that they sacrificed the entire troop so that Levi could do it.
Again, the lead up is great. Epic. The fight itself is disappointing.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. So I did want to talk about, like, what do you guys think about Reiner now that we know all of this? Like, do you
I don't know.
Do you like him as a character?
I like him.
I'm very conflicted about Reiner because, like, on the one hand, I feel sorry for him because he's clearly having a lot of internal conflicts about what he needs to do. He obviously wants to die.
Yeah, pretty much.
He tried to die. But Gabby and her plot armor revived him. But I don't know. I'm very conflicted. Like, there's a part of me that thinks he deserves like his comeuppance for everything that he's done, even though like right now he's realizing, oh my god, I'm fucked up. I've done the wrong thing. I just want to die. I'm like, dude, you need to suffer.
I think he's been suffering quite enough. Like the guy, I don't know. Like I really like Reiner. I think, especially in this season, the writing was really stellar with him. It's like such a like like I feel sorry for the guy. I really do. Even after all he did, it's like you sort of understand how he got to this point, and to some extent, I do want him to just like finally rest and be done with this. But I don't know if he's gonna, because at this point, at the end of this season, like I don't know if he's gonna stay with Marley. Maybe he's gonna join the Jaegerists. It's like I honestly don't know where he's gonna go, which is interesting.
Yeah, I don't get his current motivations, but.
I think he's mostly trying to defend like Gabby and Falco at this point, more than anything.
Probably.
We obviously saw a scene early in the season where he tries to kill himself. Yeah. Like he thinks about it. He almost goes through with it. Very closely goes through with it. Very close to pulling the trigger. Mm-hmm. My question is, and they may have explained this about Titans, and I just didn't care because it was so stupid. So there's 9 like special Titans, right? Mm-hmm. What happens if they all just commit suicide at the same time and no one can inherit their powers?
We don't know.
If you don't eat,
We don't know.
no. If you don't eat the 9 Titan, no, there was
In this
explained.
season? I've had
Not
this
in this
conversation
season.
plenty of times.
I'm pretty sure
We
before
don't know
that.
what happens if you don't eat
So
them.
what would happen? What would happen if they all...
No, I'm pretty sure it was said.
Okay, who
Fine,
cares?
I won't say it because I don't have the timestamps, but I'm pretty sure it was said.
Who cares
Anyways.
when it was said? Like, what would
No,
happen?
that's the thing. We don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Nitai doesn't want me to say, so it's fine. We'll talk about it later. Anyways.
Because I mean, like, that's a simple solution to everything if they would just all go away.
Hey guys, just die. Nice, Alex.
Yeah, exactly. It's a great solution. 9 people have to die instead
Yeah,
of a million.
but then what you're gonna do with the millions of Eldians that are just like, what are you gonna do about them? Because to demoralize their potential like danger, because they can still turn into Titans, just not special Titans.
Listen, I mean, sometimes genocide might actually be the answer.
I mean, that's what Zeke is planning pretty much, but yes.
Alex 2021. Please quote.
I realize I like how I whispered that. Like, I whispered it into a microphone so everyone could hear me.
Back to
Back to
Ryan.
reality. Oh, there goes gravity.
I don't know. I just had that thought. Like if the point is to not have Titans anymore in the world, just kill all the Titans.
That's what genocide. That's pretty much it, dude.
So Aaron has a point.
I mean, that's what Zeke wants. Zeke wants to pretty much make sure there are no more Eldians. Which is, again, kind of fucked up because it's not like all of them are just going to disappear.
Seems like the right answer if you're asking me.
Again, that's Zeke's plan, but it's
Okay.
still genocide. You're still destroying an entire race.
Sacrifices must be made, Natai.
I've sacrificed my time for this episode. I'm kidding.
That's the real sacrifice. That's the real sacrifice. But yeah, I just wanted to say that, like, in regards to Reiner, like, season 1 to 3, we've believed, like, he was, like, this genocidal, like, villain that's just killed everyone and is a complete bastard. And now we learn that he has, like, human aspects. You know, he's been going through his own, you know, trauma. Like, they did a really, really good job of humanizing him and trying to get empathy, but me personally, I can't do it. You tried, but I still really
I don't know. There are
no
moments
empathy.
like when he sort of is stuck in that Titan form, he's sort of dormant when Eren goes rampaging and all that, and he's thinking to himself, "This is nice. This is better. This is quiet." Where I thinking to himself, "Yeah, just stay there, dude. Just rest. Enough fighting."
Nah, Gabby needs her plot armor.
It's not plot armor. She called out to him and was like, "Oh, okay, right. I'm trying to defend these people I care about."
I wish just calling someone's name. I really wish calling someone's name was just enough to revive them IRL.
What do you mean? He wouldn't
Yeah,
have died
he was
anyways.
still conscious. He was just sort of.
He's
yeah.
a Titan. He has regenerative
Oh
abilities.
my god.
I mean, just let him sleep.
Anyways.
Let him sleep. He needs sleep.
I need
Okay,
sleep.
so what are our overall thoughts of
Great
this
season, fucking amazing. Hopefully the ending is good. Otherwise, I'm gonna die. Shut up. I don't want to know about it. I don't know anything. For me, I don't know. For me, fuck you guys. For me, this season is getting this show super close for me to think of it as a masterpiece. I just hope the ending is good. No, I don't want to hear your thoughts about this. I loved every second of it. Every episode is fucking great. This show is awesome. Hopefully they won't fuck it up next year when it ends.
Mic drop.
Yeah.
Exit stage
Pretty
left.
much.
I just want to. Hopefully they don't fuck it up next year when it ends. I want to save
Yes,
that.
exactly.
I
Play
want to
this
save
next
that,
time.
and we'll come back to it.
Oh my god.
We'll come back to it in about a year from now.
Shut up. Shut up. Shut up.
I definitely think that some of the moments in this season were like some of the best moments in anime I've seen. Like, so many good character moments, so many good emotional moments, great portrayal of war. They had so many details in there. I really enjoyed this season a lot. I mean, I did have some problems with it. I did think that the CG really took away for a lot of the fights for me. And I think some of the scenes kind of lost their impact, particularly the scene where Eren transforms into a Titan when he's talking to Reiner. I thought that like that conversation ended really awkwardly. I feel like it could have ended better. And also when Eren was talking to Mikasa and telling her that he hated her, that was I feel like they could have done that scene a lot better. But besides those, it was a really good season, and I overall, I really, really liked it.
Alex?
Oh, is it my turn? I'm very conflicted about this. On the one hand, I probably enjoyed this more than I've enjoyed anything so far. Probably, well, with the exception of maybe the first half of season 3. I'd probably say I enjoyed it about the same. However, the journey getting here has not been good. And I don't know. I can't enjoy the Titan stuff. I just don't care because it's so convoluted. I don't give a shit, and it just show me humans killing each other, please. When you do that, it looks great. When you try and put magic Titan big giant bullshit in it, I stop caring immediately. That being said, I definitely think this season, writing wise, has been the best overall so far. The problem is that it has 3 seasons worth of bullshit attached to it, and to me, it's just meh.
New watch order, am I right?
We love a good meh.
Exactly, like it should be meh. It's the best thing I can say about it. It's just I don't understand how people look at this and say there's a masterpiece. I really don't. To me, it's a very middle of the road, average fantasy anime.
I find it surprising. I'm surprised that even with like all the like directions that it's going in, like you don't see like at least understand why people think of it that way. Because I mean, I think like even if I didn't enjoy the show, I would still call it really fucking bold when it like pulls something like the change in perspectives to this extreme of a level, and then like goes in such different directions and especially with the second half of this season where we talked about how it's way more interesting and a slow burn and delves into characters and goes to them actually like processing what's going on. Even if I didn't enjoy the show, I would still respect it for what it's doing and understand why people love it so much.
I mean, listen, if you like it, more power to you. You have a stronger constitution than I do. But no, I don't understand that because I
but
don't
you see
think
what
it's
I'm getting
well-written.
at? Like, you see what I'm getting at?
No, I don't, because I don't think it's well written.
You just said the writing was good in this season.
I said it's good in terms of Attack on Titan good. Do I think it's good as putting it up against any other anime? No, I don't.
To me, I would put it on masterpiece level for the main point that, like, from episode 1, they carefully crafted the foreshadowing to a major secret in the plot that they were consistent in foreshadowing all the way up to the reveal. And I thought that was very consistent writing that you don't see a lot in, like, anything. Like, the amount of foreshadowing and the amount of, like, consistency in how they kept that secret.
Yeah,
that's great, but if you don't care about the twist, what's the point?
I think that's the real reason why Alex is not into the show, because he's not.
Yeah,
invested.
obviously.
I'm not invested in the Titans. The Titans are the worst part of this show because it's so convoluted. It's so bullshit. Like, if this were just an average war thing, I would probably fucking love it. Take the Titans out of everything and make it like a war-based thing about, 2 different races of people who are just at each other's throats all the time. Yeah, I'd probably love it.
You're looking for a different show,
So
though.
Attack on Titan confirmed, too big brain for Alex. That is.
I will give you props. I will give you props. Like, don't get me wrong. It's very commendable that you stuck with the show, even despite like not enjoying it. Like, don't get me wrong. I really give you props for that.
Thanks, I guess. I mean, I don't like it. Wow. I don't like it. I hate this.
Wow.
I just hate.
Okay, sorry, I even spoke.
I hate the basis of the story the basic premises that the story is based on.
Well,
the basic premise, not premises. It's not a building.
Well, on that note, thank you all out there for dropping in to listen to us. Check the description below to find links to Anime Club After Dark on Twitch, social media, and Discord. Check out our merch store and our affiliate links as well. Any purchases there will really help us out. And with that, I have been your host, Sho, and we will see you next time. Say goodnight, everyone.
See you next year to be done with this fucking Spoilercast. It's gonna be good, right?
Mappa, it wasn't. You have to prolong my suffering, don't you, Mappa? Fuck you.
But hey, they gave us Zombieland Saga Revenge, so we're good.
Hey, a better anime than Attack on Titan. Better writing, too.
Okay.